There are 3 things I need to say before I even start. Number 1, these are just my opinions. It's impossible to agree with every single thing on this list. There are a few things you're probably going to disagree with. Please do not get too upset at me for that. Number 2, if you disagree, please let me know. I'm happy to discuss these in the comments and even change my mind. I'm open to that. But please give your reasonings. When I've done these in the past, people have just said they disagree and they don't explain why. That is very frustrating because they don't provide any reason as to why I should change my opinion, so please let me know why as well if you do. Number 3, I'm using the grading system for sorcerers, not for curses. Now this is very important because, as you know, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. So for example, a grade 2 sorcerer would be able to take on a grade 1 curse, or a grade 1 sorcerer would be able to take on a low-end special raid. So I am using the sorcerer system, not the curse system. And of course, if you do like this video, please leave a like, or if you don't like it, because I know these tend to bring a lot of hate simply for my opinion, which is pretty funny, then I guess leave a dislike. So number 1, Toga Inumaki. So he's said to be a grade 1 semi grade 1. So he's pretty easy to grade, I guess. We just put him there. So next we have Hakkari. Now this is very, very interesting. Keep in mind, I only have 1 form for each character beside Mecca Maru. So, and obviously this is up to chapter 186. So if you aren't caught up to that point, be wary of spoilers. It's not going to be plot-wise, I guess it would be battle-wise. So Hakkari is very, very strong. It was said by Yuta himself that when Hakkari's on a roll, he's even stronger than Yuta. Now people obviously didn't believe this until we actually saw his domain expansion, and it was understandable. So basically, this guy has infinite cursed energy once he gets a lucky roll, or he wins in his gambling domain expansion. And in that state, I'm gonna be honest, I think the only person that could probably stop him is Gojo or Sukuna. Even then, I do think he could put up a good fight. I mean, it was said by Yuta, when this guy is on a roll, he's even stronger than Yuta, which makes sense. However, I think in his base form, so when he doesn't have the 4-minute 11-second buff from his domain expansion, where he has infinite cursed energy, I would actually say he's probably around grade 1 sorcerer. Probably. I mean, some people might say he's here, some people might say he's here. I would say this is a good spot for him. But when he's on a roll, I'm gonna be honest, this is already, I can see people getting upset at this or disagreeing with this and whatnot. As of chapter 186, so as of what I've seen so far, so keep in mind his fight with Kashimo is not over, so I have no idea where that's gonna go. For all I know, he could have a glaring weakness, or there could be, I get he needs to be on a lucky roll, that's kind of what I'm saying. So I'm saying in that state, he's high-end special grade. If you disagree, I actually get this, because he's one of those characters that's RNG based. So he's either very straight, it's chance based, right? So you could put him around here, or even maybe here. But the point is, when he's at his peak, he is definitely high-end. So that's why I'm leaving him there. If you disagree with me, just let me know why. I'm more than happy to discuss that. So next we have Kashimo. So I think that's how you say his name, Kashimo, and I think he's a he. I'm pretty certain on that, because Hakiri basically refers to him as a guy. It's very unclear. I mean, it's very unclear. I would say he's special grade. Of course he's special grade. This guy is an absolute monster. And at the very least, I'd put him around here, at the very least. Though, it's hard to say. So here's the thing. I don't know if he has a domain expansion. Like I've said, chapter 186, where we've left off is Akiri. I think that's how you say his name. Let me actually double check once more on that. Hakkari, sorry, not Hakiri, Hakkari. Yeah, I don't know if this guy has a domain expansion. Next chapter, he's probably going to use a domain expansion. And that will actually, because the fight isn't over, that will determine where he is. So for now, I'm going to play it safe and leave him here. Actually, I'm going to leave him high-end, assuming he has a domain expansion. And I don't think he has reversed cursed energy so far. This is the thing. I don't know if he has a domain expansion. Probably does, but he hasn't healed his wounds, and they've been fine for quite a while. he could literally, in the first page of the next chapter, heal his wounds, and the next one, activate domain expansion. And then, if I placed him here, I was wrong. I will give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll just say he has a domain expansion. I'll leave him up here. Because he does seem insanely powerful. I mean, he made a mockery of a semi-grade 1 source. Like, I get if it's just a low diff, he no-diffed Panda. So, I'm leaving him there. So next we have, I think it's like Kirara Hoshi? I think that was the name. I'm not too sure, and I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Listen, I'm just unsure. I've seen people say they are. One or the other. I'm not even gonna start. I don't know even what they want to be referred to as, so it was said that they were a guy, but that was in the past. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna start this. Just if you actually know for sure, let me know, because when I asked online, no one was really sure what to say. I'm just gonna leave it there. But I think they'd probably go by female pronoun. I'm just not certain though. I mean, maybe that was said. I can't remember. So we have the principal from the Kyoto school. I don't remember his name exactly. It's like Yaga something. Actually, it's Ganji. Some long name. I think it was said that he's a grade 1 sorcerer. I mean, he probably is at the very least. Though, in his fight, he didn't seem that strong. I would want to say he's here, but I'd reckon he's over there, just given prestige and whatnot. And we know, so she was a teacher. Her name's Iori, I think that's her name. So she is confirmed to be semi-grade 1, which is odd, because she's a teacher. And she's been around for a long time, like 10 years ago. She was in Gojo's flashback. So I'm not too sure how she's not grade 1 yet. I mean, I guess, so basically, the difference between semi-grade 1 and grade 1 is semi-grade 1 are people who are recommended to be grade 1. And basically they actually passed the mission, or the couple missions that are required to become grade 1. So, but they're not grade 1 yet. Grade 1 is seen as the height of sorcery, basically, because special grade it's unattainable. It's something very unique. So grade 1 is seen as the height or prestige of sorcery, and we know for a fact that there's quite a lot of sexism in the Jujutsu world. So maybe that's why she's not grade 1. I don't know. I really don't know. So this guy is the first year from Kyoto. He is actually the younger brother of one of the assistant managers. So if you remember the orange-haired girl who took Yuji, Nobara, and Fushiguro to the place where they fought the 2 special grades, who we later find out are Yuji's brothers. She, that girl, the assistant manager or the manager or whatever her position is, I'm not sure. This is her younger brother. So he's basically got reversed. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's reverse cursed energy actually, because he doesn't heal people. He just stops wounds, or let's say someone stabs you, right? If he went to that wound, he wouldn't be able to heal your wound, but he would be able to stop the bleeding, and the wound wouldn't get any worse. You'd basically stop bleeding out, and the wound wouldn't be able to become any worse than it is. So it's actually pretty useful, obviously. You would prefer someone who can use reverse cast energy, and if you could use reverse cast energy yourself, then he's actually useless. And we don't know what other capabilities he has. We don't know how strong he is. We don't even know what grade he is. So I'm going to leave him here. Now I think it was actually stated, I can't remember, she's either grade 2 or 3. Let me actually double check that right now. Oh wow, okay, so she was actually stated to be grade 3. I mean, I guess that makes sense. She's very, very weak. She has a phenomenal curse technique, creation, it's amazing. But obviously later on we find out, because her and Maki are twins, they're kind of limiting each other. So because she exists as a twin, Maki can't get the most out of her heavenly restriction, not even close. And because Maki exists, she's not able to get the most out of her curse technique. So if Maki had died, she would be, I would even say she might be grade 1, to be honest, of that curse technique. But obviously because Maki, twins in Jujutsu Kaisen are counted as 1, so she was limited a lot. It's not her fault that she's grade 3. So Mecca Maru, we know he was confirmed to be semi-grade 1. So this is the Mecca Maru I'm counting, like the robot one, so not the actual human one that's fixed. I know the image is this one, but that's the Mecca Maru. So he was said to be semi-grade 1. He seems about semi-grade 1. And yeah, I would say these two are stronger than him, to be honest. So she was Miwa, I think. She was said to be grade 3. She's like a great character, like a really great character. I think she was in the Culling game. I'm still not sure what she's going to do. She was where Yuta is. Anyway, this is not a discussion video. This is a tiering video. She is grade 3. Unfortunately, everyone loves her. She's a great character. She's weak. I mean, I don't know what role she has coming up, but hey, hopefully she can be strong. Next, we have grade 1. So I would say he's actually stronger. I think his name was... Okay, yeah, it was Principal Yaga. So this is going to be interesting because you might be able to argue, I mean, you actually could very well argue, he's a special grade. Because this principal of the Kyoto school did say this guy could be considered special grade. Actually, he would be considered special grade. Because basically, if he made an army of all of the... not puppets, but kind of creations like Panda, like he could make an entire army of them, and if he were to have done that, he would be considered special grade, but he didn't, so I'm gonna just leave him at grade 1 because he didn't do that. He has the potential to be special grade very easily if he wanted to, but due to his own morality and his own, let's say, choices, he isn't, because obviously he doesn't want to make an army of the creations he makes. They're kind of like his children, you know? Next we have Kamo. So I think he was actually, no, he definitely was said to be semi-grade 1. I would put him above Mecca Maru for now. He's seemed pretty strong with the blood technique. I can't lie, Mecca Maru just seems flashy actually. I mean, you could argue one of the other, you know, who's above the other one. It doesn't make too much of a difference for the list. They'd still be, I would leave it as they're the exact same tier of strength. Although you could argue one is stronger than the other, that's your choice. And next we have Todo, so we know for a fact that he's grade 1. And it could be argued that he's even supreme grade 1. Now, this is the thing, or special grade 1 as they say in some translations. We don't know what exactly the difference is between these two. We have no clue. Obviously, you can say it's just based on strength. I mean, that's the best assumption you can make. But what it seems like is this is reserved more so for the heads of clans. Oh, I know he's the head of a clan, Kamo, but I mean people... Actually, I want to reword that. Not the head of clans, because many people in this list weren't the head of clans. The strongest in a clan. That's the best way to say it. So I'm thinking maybe the reason Todo is not in this grade, I mean, maybe it's because he's also young. He's only in his 3rd year, I think. So given time, he might be placed here. But this also might be due to, this is my own personal theory, elitism. So let's say you were in the Noshitori clan, the Satoru clan, or in the, no, not Satoru clan, Gojo clan. That's his name, not the actual clan name. Or in the Zenning Clan. Then if you're like the elites in that clan, you might be placed here. I don't know. I really don't know. For now, I'll leave him at grade 1. I would consider him probably the peak of grade 1. He's very, very powerful. Next we have, I think her name was like Momo Nishi something. So I think it was said straight up that she's just grade 2. That's just her grading, so we'll leave her there, which is not bad for a student actually. And obviously Nanami, so we know he's grade 1. We know that for a fact. Now this is, I don't think people would disagree with me putting Todo over Nanami. Because Todo is strong. Nanami is strong. Don't get me wrong. Nanami is very strong. I mean, this one, I'd love to see what you guys think. Who would you say is stronger or would win in a fight or whatever? Who would you say, Todo or Nanami? I'm going to say Todo, but I'm swaying one way or the other. I don't really know. So this guy is Ino. He's the guy under Nanami who wants to be recommended up by Nanami. He's got a pretty interesting technique. I think, so officially he's grade 1, officially. But I think I might be misremembering. But it was something along the lines of he could be grade 1 if he wants, but he's just chosen not to do it yet because he wants the promotion to come specifically from Nanami. So in terms of combat, I get he got absolutely destroyed. Please keep in mind, he lost to Toji. Of all people, he lost to Toji. So his one fight, well, one actual fight, I know he's fought before in the underground, but against transfigured humans, but his one real fight, the reason he got brutally destroyed was because he fought someone who's special grade level. So do not, I get he's very underestimated by fans because of that. It's Toji, let's give him a break. At the very least, we know he's got semi-grade 1 capabilities, at least, because it was, I think, this is what I said, I think it was said that he could have been grade 1 already, but like I said, waiting for Nanami. So for now, I'll actually leave him at, I mean, you could argue he could even be here, but I'll just leave him here for now. I'll just stick him there. Next we have Yuki. I think what we know is she has some sort of ice-like Shinigami. We don't know how strong she is, what her abilities are, obviously besides the ice Shinigami that she spawned. I think it was ice, I'm not even too sure on that, because it was blue. But she is confirmed to be special grade. But obviously, we don't know a thing about her, so I'm just going to put her low end to be safe. She could be here, maybe. She could even be here. Like, really, she could actually be here. We don't know, but I'll just leave it here to play it safe. Because I know if I put her here, where I'm going to put some certain people here later, people are going to be very upset with that choice. Next we have Meimei, I think that's how you say her name. She is obviously confirmed to be grade 1. She's actually very, very strong. So her and her younger brother Ui, so I'm going to put him on unsure or unclear, because he has no grade, and he seems capable, like he has the simple domain, but that's the thing, he literally, it only exists to assist Meimei when she's against someone who has a domain expansion. That is his only purpose. We have no clue how strong he would be in a fight by himself. He is more like this guy, really. He's a very, very good support. He has a specific role in use, but I don't know how strong he actually is, and he does not have a grade either, because I don't even think he's an official sorcerer. I don't think. He's pretty, I mean, if I just had to guess, I might say grade 2. I know grade 2 seems very weak. Grade 2 means you could take on a grade 1 cursed spirit. So grade 2 people are not weak at all. Do not get that twisted. But I'll leave him here for now. Meimei, so she took down obviously with the assist of her brother, she took down the smallpox deity in an incredible fight, which was, keep in mind, special grade, confirmed. But would she beat Todo? I'm not sure. You know, this is interesting. So I'm gonna put Meimei up here due to okay. I was gonna say personal bias. She's one of my favorite characters. I have to put Todo up there. I just don't know. Todo has had more showing. She has more experience though. I mean, she came out of the fight clean, but she had assist. I'll leave her up here now. This is a bit of bias. If you say Todo's stronger than her, I'm all for that. I'm actually all for that. I actually think realistically, I think they're 1-to-1. I think they're relatively the same tier, because it seems like they've actually been portrayed narratively to be the same, not just grade 1, but relative in terms of ranking or status in the series, if that makes any sort of sense. So I would actually just say they're the same. So I know she's above him, just keep in mind they're probably the same. Next we have Tengen. So I'm actually just going to put him in unclear or unsure. We know that, so in the flashback of Gojo and Geto said that they would have tried to take on Tengen, but it was said that Tengen he seems to be at least special grade. We have no idea where he lands on the list. I'm just going to put him on unclear or unsure. He is probably the most, out of everyone on this list, I would actually be the most unsure about. So next we have the head of I should say former head of the Zenning Clan. I think it was like Naobito, I think that's how you say his name, Zenning. We know for a fact he's Supreme Grade 1. We've seen his curse technique. I don't really need to get all into it because this isn't a discussion video. And, well, it's pretty obvious. Gojo goes in grade 3. He is absolute trash. No, I'm just kidding. The strongest. That's just where he belongs. So we have now I think that's how his name. Naoya Zenin. I think I got it. So he's Supreme Grade 1 as well. I would just put him below his dad, no, because he has more experience, I guess. And this guy was Ogi Zenin, so he lost to Maki brutally. But keep in mind, Maki, this is Awakened Maki, so I don't really blame him. He was said to be Supreme Grade 1, Special Grade 1 as well. So I don't actually remember this guy's name exactly, but he was one of the Hei members, so basically people in the Zenning Clan who are Grade 1 at least, and they have a curse technique. So at the very least, he comes into Grade 1. Where he stands, I have no clue. We've seen his ability once to try and stop Maki, but obviously it's Maki, so it seems useless, but he's fighting a monster. It's not really fair to judge him based on that. So I'll leave him here for now. Next we have, I think his name was Jinichi. He's Supreme Grade 1. He got absolutely clapped by Maki. That was a brutal kill. He went in for those punches. Man got his head sliced off, dumped into the river. She didn't say a word. And he looked ugly too. So this guy, I don't remember his name either. He seems to have some, I can't tell if it's like a rock or golem, some type of, I guess rock actually, or like ground based curse technique. So he's at least Grade 1. I'd actually put him here because he seemed more offensive based than him. He could be stronger than, no, I wouldn't say that. He could be stronger than these two. We just don't know. We know for a fact he's Grade 1, but with these two, we don't know how high they go. So this guy is pretty interesting. So basically in the Zenning Clan, there is a force of people, basically, if you were born without without a cursed technique in the Zenning Clan, you join some sort of special ops in the Zenning Clan, where you just focus on your cursed energy and you're kind of like a physical brawler. So like a Maki, or like, I think it was actually said Maki was a part of this for a while, or like Yuji, basically. And he was the head of that force. I would put him at the very least. This is the thing. We literally have no clue how strong this guy is. No clue. He should go over here. But I'm actually going to give him the benefit. I mean, this is the thing. He is the head of these guys. So you could say the head of this ops is as strong as a Hei member. That's fair to say. That is fair to say. But, because obviously we've seen multiple characters be Grade 1 and have no curse technique. As a matter of fact, we've seen multiple characters be special grades without curse technique. So it's very, very, very possible he's Grade 1. We have no clue. I was actually going to leave him probably here or here initially, but I just don't know if that's going to upset people because we haven't seen anything, and is it even fair to put him there? Because obviously let's be real, this is my headcanon speaking, putting him up there. So for now, I'll actually leave him here. Next we have Angel, no clue how strong he or she is, I don't know that gender. Next we have Higuruma, I think that's his name, or Higurama, so he's actually my top 3 favorite characters. So him, Meimei, they are up there as my favorite characters. I love this guy, absolutely love this guy. Now, could you say, I'm gonna put him low end special grade. Now, I know people might get upset, they might want me to put him here. I'm gonna leave him here for now. I'll explain my reasoning later on when I rank the mid special grade, and then I'll explain why sorry about that, don't know who I'm apologizing to, why I put him down here. So next we have Takaba. Now this is interesting. This is very, very interesting, and I know this is going to be controversial because how strong he is actually pretty headcanon-y. This is gonna make people, no matter where I put him, someone will be upset. If I put him too high, too low, in the middle, someone is gonna be upset. So I'm just gonna say what I think. If you disagree, let me know. I'm open to change my mind on this. I'm gonna put him above these two. I get these guys are offensively based, but his curse technique just seems so strong. Like it could even affect Gojo. So even though he's not a serious character, I get that. I actually can't see them killing him, genuinely so, because of his curse technique. I'm honestly, I'm actually thinking of putting him up here. This is what I would do. I'm gonna be honest, this is what I would do, but for the sake of, because I know there's a lot of Naya fans, I'll leave him here. If you think he's Grade 1, hey, that's cool. That's totally up to you. It's just unclear on how strong he is, so obviously we're all going to have our thoughts on this. If you think he's special grade, hey, I don't blame you. I think he could definitely be special grade, because we haven't actually seen him go all out. Now this guy, unclear on sure. We don't know a single thing about him. Now Kusakabe, I think that's how you say his name, he's confirmed to be grade 1. I will believe him, I guess, above here. He's pretty strong. He's not that strong. I'll leave him there. He's actually a pretty funny character too. I like him. She got demolished by Yuji with extreme ease. I'll leave her grade 2. Keep in mind, like I said again, grade 2 is not weak. This means you are able to combat a grade 1 curse spirit and win, actually. So I'm not, by no means I'm calling her weak. I'm just saying I don't see her being stronger than any of these characters. You may even be able to say she's grade 3. That's all up to you. This guy, by default, he has to be above her, but he doesn't seem that strong either. I can't tell if it's because Yuji stomped him so easily. You could put him here, you could put him here. I'm just gonna leave him here. I mean, it seems just odd, to be honest, putting this guy here, of all people. Because Yuji just pulverized him with such ease. I'll just put him here. To be honest, my gut is telling me just put him in grade 2, but that might upset people. I don't even know if putting him in semi-grade 1 is going to upset people. But it's just odd. Like, I feel like he should be grade 2, but it doesn't feel like he should be grade 2. You get what I'm saying? But he doesn't feel grade 1 either. He doesn't feel semi-grade 1. If only there was like a semi-grade 1. That's where I put this guy. So I'll put him at the bottom of semi-grade 1, but he's, let's just say, stronger than a grade 2 sorcerer. Let's just say that. Obviously, well, there's no obvious thing. It's just unclear. Reggie Star. Now, at the very least, this is the thing. I have no idea how people feel about his character. He's the one character I actually have not yet seen anything online about. I mean, power scaling wise. So I don't actually know why people lie. So I'm just going to say what I think. I actually think he's very strong. I think he's Supreme Grade 1. He could even contend with these guys in the low end special grade. Mix that up. I think, so basically what I'm saying is these guys here could put up like a pretty decent fight with these guys actually in the low end, but they're not winning. But they could put up a good fight. It wouldn't be an instant loss. I would put him here. I would put him Supreme Grade 1. He seems far stronger than Grade 1. And I know these guys are frighteningly, these guys are terrifying. They're very strong. But Reggie Star is something else. Remember, he's a reanimated sorcerer, so there's that. She sucks. Like, she really, really sucks. Her curse technique, from what we've seen, literally, it's just her hair is like a scorpion, so it's like a weapon. That's it. She is so weak that Megumi didn't even bother fighting her. It's incredible how she. In all fairness, she is not a combative type. She was forced basically into the culling game because she already lived there. She's actually a modern day sorcerer, so it's not like she just was reanimated or she chose to go in there. She just fell in there by, like, she didn't fall in there. She already lived in the city, but because she had a cursed technique or cursed energy, she was forced to participate, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So she's not strong. It's not her fault. I don't think she's a combative type. I don't think she wants that. So this guy, I think his name was Iori Hazenkoi? Has something. I can't remember. I know it was Iori was like his second name or his first name. Something like that. Regardless, he is very strong. He can use reversed cursed energy. So by default, he's strong as hell. I'm gonna put him grade 1, high end of grade 1. You could argue he's special Supreme Grade 1. Actually, people might be upset by that because obviously his design kind of sucks and his fight, he didn't seem that strong because this guy didn't really beat him, but he kind of, to be fair, Takaba is just something else. But like I said, it's just really hard to grade these, like relatively. I know there are probably people who think he's up here, some people might think he's up here. He's strong. He can use reverse curse energy and his technique is very, very strong. I would actually say he could beat Nanami. Now, that might upset people because Nanami has a lot of fans. He has a lot of fans. So by default, people don't want to hear that, but that's just the way I see it. I would say they're relative. He's probably more relative to these guys, actually. So Todo and Meimei. But I just see him losing to them. I don't know why. So this guy is Durov. I think that's his name. Durov. I would just put him, based on what we've heard, low-end special grade. Please do not get upset by that. Okay, it's too late. People are going to get upset by that. But obviously his Shikigami was so strong that they were able to deter people like Ishigori and Uro. Granted, that was because... No, sorry. Actually, specifically, it was the Cockroach Curse Spirit. But that was because their curse techniques cancel out. Now, you have to remember, this is not like Dragon Ball Z or something, or like 7 Deadly Sins, where just because you're a higher grade does not mean you have no way of fighting someone who's like above you. You know, sometimes techniques just happen to cancel out or affect the other one. A good example of this is Nobara with Mahito. Mahito is far stronger than Nobara, but because of her technique, it's kind of like a counter to his one. And it's just one of those cases where, because he died instantly, it's just so hard to say where he lies exactly. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt based on, because he's a reanimated sorcerer and he had so many points, and a 4-way deadlock was made between him and 3 other powerful, very powerful sorcerers. I get he seems weak because he just died off screen. I'm gonna keep it real. He's got to be at least high Supreme Grade 1, low end Special Grade, at least. Now, Ishigori and Udo. This is going to upset a lot of people. What I'm about to do. So actually, I'm going to have Jogo, Hanami, and what was the octopus's name? I don't remember. That's kind of embarrassing. I'm just going to call him Octoboy. Octoman, actually, becomes a man. So I'm going to... these 3. Alright? Now, let me explain what I'm about to do. Okay? No, let me do it first, and then I'll explain it. Octoman, mid-end special grade. Okay, I know people are going to be upset because he's here. I'll explain that next. Hanami, over here too. Jogo. Listen, stay with me. I know some of you are getting upset. Stay with, please. Please do not get too upset. Okay, so now I imagine I've pissed off a whole array of people, mainly because these 2 are above him, these 2 are above him, he's below these 2 should be, oh my god. Okay, I get it. You're probably very upset. Quite a lot of you. Let me explain my reasoning. These 2 are far stronger than what it seems. A lot stronger. I remember actually, so I made a post in some forums discussing, could these 2 beat Jogo one-on-one? Now keep in mind, this was in the middle of Ishigori and Udo's fight with Yuta. People actually said no, and I was inclined, actually I agreed with them. I thought even in 2v1, like maybe they could beat him. This was before we knew they had domain expansion. And obviously this was before we saw the rest of their fight. First of all, Ishigori is terrifyingly strong. Actually, you know, I'm actually going to switch up, actually. I'm going to move it down here. So we haven't seen the domain expansion, sorry. So we don't exactly know what it does. We could make a pretty educated guess on what it could be. But listen, I know Jogo, by the fans, I don't want to say overrated, but he kind of is overhyped tremendously by the fans because of his showings. And it's kind of funny because he lost all his fights, but he just looks so strong in all of them that he is strong. I've put him high special grade. The issue is people don't think these 2 are that strong. Listen, Yuta is a monster. Yuta is an absolute beast, and he struggled even one-on-one with these guys. I wouldn't say he struggled. Actually, he did struggle with this guy one-on-one. But these 2 are reanimated sorcerers, and they are, of all of these reanimated sorcerers in the past, like, over 1,000 years, these guys are like the cream of the crop. They're the strongest of these guys. They're the high ends. Of course they're gonna be this strong. They even have domain expansions. This motherfucker here has so much cursed energy output, it shoots like a cannon. He doesn't even need a cuss technique. His output alone is his cuss technique. Think about that. Think about it. He is that strong. And she's competing. Granted, it's because her abilities kind of cancel his out because she reflects things. She is strong as well. I mean, you could even, I would actually, now that I think about it more, you could put her here. I'm just going to play it. I say what my gut says. I think she's there. And I know Jugo, how do you say his name? I'm just going to say Jugo. He is very, very, very powerful. I get that. He is the height of the cursed spirits. I mean, he, without any effort, one-shot Nobara, I think it's like Nobara, the head of the Zenning Clan, and Nanami and all his boys. He one-shot them. You have to remember, they were all exhausted, absolutely exhausted from fighting Octoman in his domain, and they were all caught completely off guard. I still think they would have lost pretty badly because he seems, in their own words, I think it was Nanami's words, he is on another level compared to these two. Like, he is a whole tier above them. I just think people underestimate how strong these two are simply because they fought Yuta. And because this guy, he just seems more destructive, right? Because he's more like, he's very flashy. He's got like high DC. High DC does not equal just stronger than everyone. Ishigori has a high DC. And Kashimo being, okay, I definitely think this one makes sense. Kin, I'm just going to call him Kin, because that's what he says. Kin definitely, with his infinite curse energy, it makes sense why he's here. I don't see how many people could argue with that, because he's literally said to be immortal and has infinite energy, so can't really lose. And Kashimo, I'm just putting him here for the benefit of the doubt. He could end up being here, based on how his fight with King goes. He could even be stronger than I think. He could even be here. I mean, without exaggeration, he could literally be here, because he's looking for Sukuna, and he must know how strong Sukuna is. He thinks he can take on Sukuna. Let me repeat that. He is actively looking for Sukuna. Wait a minute. Is he only looking to Sukuna for a fight? Wait, is he looking to join Sukuna? Wait, okay, I just had a moment of realization. No, but it seems like he was looking for a fight, because then he said these guys are too weak, whereas Sukuna. So it seems like he thinks he could take on Sukuna. He could be this strong. Obviously, that doesn't mean he's going to win. I don't think he would win. But he's very strong. Okay, I've explained this. I still don't think people are going to be happy with this. People probably want me to put him here. You know, it is what it is. Now, why is Higuruma below these two? Remember the top 3 favorite characters that I have? He is up there. He actually might be my favorite character in the whole series. It's between him and Choso. I really, really, really like this guy. So I'm giving him bias. But, keeping it real, he seems more like, if he fights someone, if he fought these two, he would lose. And that's my dog. If you can hear that, I hope you can't hear that. Anyway, let me explain why I think he would lose to these two. The reason this guy is such a monster, Higuruma, is because his curse technique, well, not his curse technique, sorry, his domain expansion, I think that was actually his curse technique, and he like worked backwards. He got his domain expansion first. It's pretty interesting reading about that. By the way, he has top 3 favorite fights in the series, him and Yuji. I love that. I think I've reread that fight like 20 times over the year. It's such an amazing fight. Anyway, fanboying enough. His domain expansion works by, once you're sentenced, you basically lose your curse technique, and once someone loses their curse technique, they wouldn't even be able to use their cursed energy properly, because it would feel weird not having a curse technique. So he'd basically kill people because they were screwed over. They can't really even use their cursed energy properly, and they don't even have their cursed technique. So it's not a surprise why he's special grade. Because these guys, who don't even have domains, he would instantly win. I'm not even kidding. He would beat all of these guys down here, every single one of them, because they don't have domains. He would just, simply put, it's a, I wouldn't say easy win, especially against this, especially not against these guys. I don't even know about this guy. This guy is a wild card, Takaba. I think it's how his name, like Takaba? Yeah, Takaba. But let's say he fought Octoman, or he fought Hanami. And by the way, Hanami is far, far, far stronger than people think. because we didn't get to see Haname at full power, not even close, because just before Haname was about to use their full power, Gojo comes in. In base form, these guys would lose to, like, let's say a Supreme Grade 1 plus a Grade 1, like a group, like, so 2 or 3 of these guys, they would lose. Domain expansion activated, they are destroying. Keep in mind, a domain is the domain is that powerful. This is why I'm putting these two so high up. They are that strong, and we haven't seen their domain. Keep that in mind. A domain expansion makes a world of difference. It put Octoman was getting absolutely donkey slapped, bodied. He was getting his cheeks clapped hard. It was NSFW. It was not looking good for my man. He was getting absolutely destroyed by, okay, maybe I'm putting it too badly. He was getting slapped around by Head of Zennin, Nanami, and his boys, right? In base, he couldn't even activate his curse technique. But then the moment he activated his domain expansion, they were just dead. If Fushiguro hadn't come in, they would have all died in there. It's that crazy of a difference. Hanami, same situation. I don't think it's a she. They were fighting Todo and Yuji, let's say evenly. They were even on the back foot, actually. If they had activated their domain expansion, which they were about to do, let's keep it real. Yuji and Todo would have died. Or maybe not Yuji because of Sukuna. Todo would have died right then and there. I have no qualms saying that. And that's why I put Higuruma below these two. I think in a battle of domain expansions, simply because they just have so much more experience. Well, Octoman has no experience, he's new. But he has like instinctual experience. But Higuruma has a lot of instincts as well. That's why he was such a good sorcerer. So it's really hard to say, but I just feel like in a battle of domain expansions, he would 100% lose to both of these two. 100%. Because once the domain, the battle starts, no one can use their guaranteed hit, or not even the guaranteed hit. They can't use, well, that as well. But what the domain expansion does, or the technique, you just can't do it anymore. So in that moment, it'd pretty much be a 1v1 between these two, or one like him and him. So Higuruma or Hanami or Higuruma and Octoman, and in a 1v1, so no domain expansion, he's getting absolutely bodied by these two. He's strong because of his domain expansion, and that's not to put him down. It's a phenomenal technique, but he would just lose out to these two. Likewise, for anyone else who has a domain expansion, assuming Kashimo, that is how I say his name, yeah. Assuming he has a domain expansion too, he would. If he doesn't, then he comes over here. But if he does, well, he might be over there. Like I said, he's pretty unclear. I'm very unclear on him. Actually, I'll leave him up there. But if you get my reasoning, I really hope you can agree with that. If you don't, let me know why, your opinions or whatever in the comments down below. I'm more than happy to talk about this because I actually do love talking about these things. As you can see, let me actually check how long this has been going on. Dear God, the recording is 48 minutes. How? Wait, it feels like 5 minutes has passed. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, getting on to Charles. So he got absolutely. I mean, I actually think he would have lost to Kin in base if Kin was taking it seriously. But he's not that bad. I would just put him grade 1, above hit. I know people might think he could be like around here. Some people could think he's around here. I will just leave him here for now. Where actually I really don't mind where you put Charles. I don't. He's a pretty interesting character, but he was just there as a kind of an introduction to Kin and his abilities before the real fight started. And of course we have everyone's favorite, Toji. This guy is an absolute monster. Now, where do I put Toji? Obviously not there, sorry. So, I would actually think he beats Jogo. I would say that. Does he beat Ishigori? I don't know. I really don't know. I would give him the benefit of the doubt and say he would. I have a feeling Ishigori might win. I think it'd actually be pretty close. Now, I'm just going to put Kashimo up there, again, for the benefit of the doubt. He could be this weak. He could even be this strong. I don't know. I don't even know if he has a domain expansion. I'm just going to leave him here for now, because there's too much unknown about him. Next, we have Yuji. So obviously this is current Yuji. How strong is he? You know, he's definitely stronger than grade 1. I won't say stronger, I would say as strong, but over the course of time, I would put him right around here. I know people are going to get upset because Yuji's the MC. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I guess, people might even get upset because of this. I would say he's comfortably special grade 1. He's very strong. This is actually something I'm not too certain on, just because he doesn't have a curse technique, but I will leave him here. And I know you could definitely argue he's here, you could argue he's here, some might say he's here, I don't know. I'm just gonna play it safe and leave him in the middle of both camps. That actually might make the most people upset, because I haven't put him high enough, or I've put him too low, or I have put him too high, so yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Junpei, I would say, because he lost to a still developing Yuji, and he just got his curse technique, I'll just say it's grade 2. This guy actually seems pretty strong. Actually, he seems very strong. I would, to be honest, I would put him here. If you disagree, let me know why. I'm actually open to changing where he is. Next we have Kenjaku, not Geto, Kenjaku. So I'm just going to leave him at the low end of special grade. I would say he's stronger than Yuki. I don't know. Yuki could be stronger, but she didn't go to take him out, but Kenjaku fled. I got no clue. Seriously, I have no clue which of these two are strong. He could even be stronger than both of these. He could even be stronger than him. I really don't know. But for now, I'll leave it here. If you want to switch it around, let me know why, because obviously you're not going to agree with a lot of these things, but let me know what you would actually do with this low-end special grade. Next we have, so I don't actually remember his name exactly. He was someone serving under Sukuna. We know at the very least, at the bare minimum, their special grade. I would put them over Kenjaku, I guess. I know they have reverse cursed energy, and they're from what we saw, they have insanely powerful iced cursed energy, insanely powerful. So I'm going to leave him here for now. He could actually be higher. He could have a domain expansion. And sorry about my dog. If you could hear it, if you couldn't, thank God. He could even be up here. I genuinely have no clue. He could be down here. He's got to be at least special grade. I'm going to just leave him here for now. This guy, he's actually pretty strong. He's not bad. I would leave him here. It's hard to say exactly. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I really just want to put him in unclear answer because that is confusing. This girl, or guy, I don't actually know. Okay, I'm just going to say they. That's the best thing to say. We have no clue. We have no clue. We have no clue. And we obviously, once he doesn't have those, I think it was like a vinyl, I don't even know what it was. It's like vines or something where he could deactivate cust technique. He doesn't have that. So I think his name is like Miguel, or however you say his name. Don't know how strong he is. Don't know how strong. Basically, I'm putting all of Geto's clique, his entourage in here. We just really don't know. Megumi, with his domain right now, even though it's incomplete, I would say him and Reggie, we saw the fight. I would say they're the exact same tier. It was literally either one of them Reggie could have won that. It was that close of a fight. It was last hit, just like half a second difference. What am I saying? Listen, okay, it's been almost an hour. I'm a bit tired. But it's kind of like a split-second decision could have literally changed the outcome of that fight. They are very, very relative. So I'm putting him in. I think if Megumi can master his domain expansion, completely master it, because he still hasn't done that yet. He's close. He actually turned the gymnasium into, I would say, a perfect domain. Well, it wasn't a perfect one because it didn't have a guaranteed hit. It was pretty much a complete one, actually. I would say it's complete. I think he has the potential to be up here. That's for damn sure. But I think even in a battle of domain expansions, I actually think Higuruma might win. So actually, this could be a case where Fushiguro might be able to beat Higuruma simply because of having a domain expansion, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's stronger than him, if that makes any sense. He's kind of like a good counter to him. You could even argue Naoya is weaker than... Wait a minute. I actually think, now that I think about it, I mean, you already saw from the beginning, I feel he was stronger than Naoya. I'm just gonna say it, okay? I get Naoya has a lot of fans, supersonic speed. Speed, like, what, speed is weight, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Maki punched him into the ground. Granted, that's the Maki who's higher in special grade, so it's not his fault. Okay, I'm downplaying Naoya. He's strong. I think Megumi might win. It would be like I would actually say all three of these guys are, I would say they're relative. They are very, very, very relative. If him and Naoya fought, it would probably be the same case with Reggie, where it'd be like, in the last second, one of them could win. Like, it could go either way. Next we have Geto, so I would put him at the same tier as Kenjaku. I mean, the thing is, we do know how strong he is when he fought Yuta. So he has a maximum, but he doesn't have a domain expansion, so it's really weird. The maximum Uzumaki. So, I don't know actually. I really don't know about Geto. So, at the very least, he's special grade. We know that. You know, this seems about right. I mean, you could argue him and Kenjaku, because it's the same body, are the height of low-end special grade. You could say they're bottom tier mid-end. I'm not too sure about that. And Geto, one of my favorites is, I know I'm saying that a lot. Keep in mind, I think this is like 70, maybe a bit more characters. This is basically every character in Jujutsu Kaisen. So obviously my 5-6 favorite characters are here. Geto being one of them. So it's like Geto, Higuruma, Meimei, Choso too. Yeah, those guys, love all those guys. Mahito. Now, funny enough, this is someone I actually hate a lot. Keep in mind, I think he is a great character. He's a great character, especially an antagonist for Yuji. He's fantastic. I don't like him. He has so many fans online. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't like Mahito. I'm going to say he's low-end special grade. I would just... this is hard. I'm going to say his awakened form is below these two. I mean, Yuji took him on though. No. Mahito is far stronger than Yuji. The reason Yuji was even able to compete with him, first of all, he had Todo. Second of all, he can't use domain expansion against Yuji. It's kind of a shame. I'm gonna be honest, actually, I'm gonna put him here. The reason I say this is because would he win in a domain expansion fight with Higuruma? Maybe. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna leave it here. You could actually, if you argue Mahito is here, I get that. I really get that. And if you want to convince me of that, go ahead in the comments. But to all the people who think he's weak or that Yuji should be higher, please remember, please, it was a 2v1, and the most important thing, not even including that, Yuji is the ultimate counter to Mahito. 1, 2, not only is he the ultimate counter where Mahito doesn't have his instant win, he can't even use his domain expansion against Yuji. He doesn't have one major handicap, he has 2 major handicap. And I've explained in this video why domain expansions are so powerful, because it went from him, like Todo was able to basically fight him on kind of evenly, to Todo, if he kept that domain expansion, if he didn't have to remove it in that 0.2 because of Yuji, Todo's dead. Todo is just dead instantly. It's not even a fight. Mahito is a lot stronger than people think. And the people who actually get how strong he is, I don't blame you if you want me to put him up here. If he could just keep his domain expansion up indefinitely, and Yuji did not have Sukuna, Yuji's dead. Yuji and Todo would be 6 feet under right now. You would have Fushiguro crying over their graves. That's what would be going on right now if Yuji did not have Sukuna inside him. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. So next we have this cockroach. So I don't think this cockroach had a domain expansion. The cockroach is actually very strong. It was able to basically 1v1 in base. He was going up with Yuta. Yuta, not even with his domain expansion, with reversed energy alone, was able to beat him, I would actually say, pretty comfortably. Like, it was a close fight. He did put a lot of wounds on Yuta. But after the fight, Yuta healed with cursed energy, and he had more than plenty enough cursed energy to not only take these two on in a 1v1v1, but then later on activate his domain expansion. So I know the cockroach seems strong, and he is strong. He or she, I don't know. I'm just gonna say he. I've put him in special grade, but come on. Base Yuta, the whole fight with Yuta was about reverse curse energy. The moment Yuta, because Yuta was trying to preserve that information so Udo and Ishigori didn't have it, the moment Yuta used reverse curse energy, the fight was over, and Yuta had more than enough cursed energy to spare, and he didn't even use, I forgot even to mention that, he comfortably beat this guy. In a moment he had reverse cursed energy, 1. 2, didn't even use his domain expansion. 3, oh my god, there are so many. He didn't even have Rita, but he's not weak. Remember that. And obviously, we know if this guy's curse technique counters him. That's why he was in hibernation. I'm just gonna say he's over there. Choso. So we know Choso's. I think he was special grade. Actually, I don't think he was ever registered, but I think in terms of curse spirits, no, he definitely is special grade in terms of curse spirits. But I don't remember. I don't think it was registered. Regardless, at the very least, I think he is Supreme Grade 1. Actually, I don't see him being these top. This is. I just want to put him in special. I want to put Takaba. Can I just be honest with all of you? I really want to put him in special grade. Is that too much to ask for? Maybe. Look, anyway, Choso is very, very, very strong. Very strong. He's won every single fight he's been in, and he's, like I just said earlier, he is one of my favorite characters, so maybe there's a bit of bias. But I think he seemed, I mean, him and Naoya had a pretty good fight. It was pretty good, actually. I really like that fight. I think he would probably beat Fushiguro. He might actually lose to I think his name is like Naobito, or how do you say his name? Probably just since he's so old, he's got a lot of experience, blah, 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 blah. So we have one of Yuji's brothers, one of Choso's brothers. I think his name was Iso, I'm not sure. One of their names was Iso, don't remember the other names. So I'm just going to call him Winged Guy, or Winged Yuji's brother. So we know he's special grade, but that's special grade in terms of curse spirits. So, wait, where did I put him? Wait a minute, I've actually lost him. What? Am I blind? Okay, that's where it was. Sorry, I was looking in grade 1 and Supreme grade and whatnot. Anyway, as you can see, look, it's been quite a long time. I've been recording. I think I'm probably gonna edit some parts out, but I've been recording for over an hour. It's been an hour 5. This guy, he's special grade for cursed spirits, like I was saying, but that only puts him on par with grade 1. And actually, he's getting stomped by still a relatively, honestly, like weaker Yuji than the current Yuji we have, and weaker Nobara. So he's not by any means weak, definitely not. Let's see where to put him. I would say I'm gonna leave him here. This is more of a gut feeling than anything. I would say he's like bottom of grade 1. If you actually have any, I'm too tired to actually just like, because I have a lot of thoughts on these, but come on, I don't think anyone cares too much about, of all characters, these two, I don't think people care that much. I mean, hey, if these two are your favorites, I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry. And if you think they should go a bit higher, or maybe, okay, they are not semi-grade 1. They're just not. I don't see them be, I think every single person here would kill these two. No. They're both certainly grade 1. Now, it's just a matter of where. I mean, he could even be semi-grade 1. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I could see him being... I could even see him being semi-grade. I'll just leave him there for now. Nobara. Now, Nobara's very, very, very underrated by the fan base just because she does not have a flashy ability. Nobara is strong. Very strong. I have no doubt in my mind she's grade 1. I'm going to put her in the middle of the pack. Putting her above the principal, I know that's crazy, I'm putting her above these two members of the Hay, but Nobara is stronger than people think. That's all I'll say. I mean, I could give a 10-minute argument and make this video longer than it is. I don't think anyone wants to hear that. Let's keep it real. I mean, actually, if you think Nobara should go somewhere else on the list, actually let me know. Sukuna, she's gonna put him in the strongest. You know, you could argue who in full form, who's stronger, Sukuna or Gojo? We just don't know. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't add that cursed spirit, the one with the 8 paths. who fought Sukuna and gave him a good fight, the one who could adapt to any ability, I would put him in high-end special grade, but if anyone is curious. If you've made it this far, God bless you. Like, you're an absolute legend if you've made it this far, by the way. Like, seriously, thank you. So, next we have Yuta. Yuta, my boy. Love this guy. And I think, obviously, this, no one should argue this. Yuta himself said, I think it was Yuta or someone, I actually think it was Yuta himself. He said, when Kin is on a roll, Kin is even stronger than Yuta. Which makes sense. Infinite cursed energy, an immortal. You know, you can see why he's stronger than Yuta in those 4 minutes 11 seconds. So that's the version I'm putting above him. I think Yuta's so strong, even with basically the hype that I'm giving Kashimo, or the benefit, all these benefits of the doubts that I'm giving Kashimo, I still think Yuta would win, even if he had Kashimo had a domain expansion, because Yuta has one too, and it's Rika. Next we have Maki. Okay, Maki, by the way, one of my favorite fights. Can you even call it a fight? One of my favorite fights in the whole series, Maki versus the Zenning Clan. It was basically a massacre. It wasn't really a fight. I just absolutely loved it. I would say they are extremely powerful. Like I said, Kashimo, I've explained why, giving him 50 benefits of the doubts. He could even be here. Hey, he could be here. I don't know. I mean, you could tell me. No, I'm just kidding. But he could even be here. He could be no, he'd be around here maybe. He could even be here. We just don't know. I imagine if you're watching this video even a couple weeks after this video's come out, you would know the answer of how strong he is, because then we've seen his full power and his full fight with Kin. So you would know definitively where he stands. But I just don't. So, I mean, realistically, these two might actually beat him. Could they beat Yuta? Now, this is tough. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think Toji's stronger than Maki. I think actually the truth is they're both the same level of strength, and I want to say Toji has more experience, but Maki, obviously she has tons of combat experience, but Toji was known as the sorcerer hunter, so he has way more experience fighting sorcerers, and just in general he has more life experience than Maki. He's lived a longer life and he's fought far more battles, and he's had a stronger body, so he's used to his strong body. He's known how to fight with that for a longer time. But I know there's so many people who say Maki isn't as strong as Toji. I can't even fathom why people say this. It's so incredibly stupid. It has been stated by the author multiple times while Maki had awakened. She is on the same level as Toji. She is as strong as Toji. That is factual. Now, literal strength wise. Actually, if her and Toji fought, it would be. I would love to see that fight. But they are 1-to-1. So many people downplay Maki. I don't understand. I'm just gonna say it. They actually just might be sexist. That really, I'm not even kidding. That is the only fathomable reason I could see why people say Maki isn't as strong as Toji. Multiple times it was portrayed, she is at least as strong as Toji. By her father, by this guy of the hay, by Naoya, I think it was said by 4 or 5 times it was stated, implied, she's as strong as Toji. So I know, if you already think that, you're probably why is this guy ranting for a full minute? It is because I've legitimately seen a good amount of people online say she's not as strong as Toji. These people are smoking some fine crack. I need what they're smoking. Because what in the name of God? I'm gonna be honest. Rant aside, these two could be stronger than Kashimo. Back to normal. But I don't see them beating Yuta. I just don't see that. I could see a great fight coming out of it, but and we don't know Yuta's domain expansion, but I just don't see it happening. Panda, okay, so he beat Mecca Maru, so we know he's at least above him. I mean, I would say he's got pretty good intelligence. He might actually figure out how his curse technique works. And we have never seen his sister, so the Rhino, in action. The one time he finally used his sister, the Rhino, obviously it has to be against someone who's at the bare minimum, like mid-tier special grade, and he gets one shot. So I don't know how strong Panda is. He could be up here, he could be the highest semi-grade one. I don't think he's grade 1, to be honest. I just don't. I know Panda has so many fans. Maybe in his Rhino form, he's here. I just don't. We didn't actually get to see him fight in his Rhino mode. And Mecca Maru in his, I think it's called like Ultimate Mecca Maru. So I know his name's not actually Mecca Maru. It's kind of like the nickname. This is interesting. I would say you could argue Nanami might lose to Ultimate Mecca Maru. I know Mecca Maru got absolutely destroyed, but it's tough. I mean, it's so weird. You, like, by logic, considering all the requirements that went into making Ultimate Mecca Maru, this thing should be up here. I'm being real. But for some reason, I get he fought Mahito, but this was a very, very baby, like, weak version of Mahito. Who, I know this Mahito did have domain expansion. It's tough. It's very tough. You could say it could beat Nanami. I'm gonna be realistically, it probably would beat Nanami. I'm just gonna say it's gonna beat Nanami. I just can't see how Nanami would beat it. The Ultimate Mecca Maru. The Ultimate Mecca Maru seems weaker than it is simply because he was fighting Mahito, but it did put on a pretty weak fight. I actually see everyone up here being Ultimate Mecca Maru, but I can't see anyone down here beating him. So he has to lie somewhere in the high-end grade 1. I'll leave him here. And that's the list. So here is the full list, if you can see it. Yep. So yeah, my god, this was long. It's an hour 50 minutes of the recording. I think with everything I've cut down, it might be like 50 minutes, an hour by now. But yeah, that was fun actually. If you, like I said, you are not going to agree with every single thing on the list. You probably won't even agree with half the things on this list. That's natural. Agreeing with every single thought I have here is mad to even think about that. Realistically, there's going to be things you disagree with, and hey, let me know. I would love to talk about it in the comments. I mean, I love talking about power scaling, and I absolutely love talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, so I'm more than happy to talk about that. And if you've watched this far, just let me know in the comments. You just say you're part of Higuruma's fan club, and I'll know you've made it this far. I don't think anyone's made it this far. Let's keep it real. Who the hell has watched this? What are you doing? Are you still watching? Why? Why have you made it this far? But if you have, thank you so much. And hey man, you just watched an hour video by me. If you could subscribe, I would appreciate it. That would be very cool. And leave a like. If you disagreed, if you got triggered and you're still watching, if you were sensitive and got triggered and you're still watching this far, hey, thank you anyway, man. It's pretty cool that you would actually watch this far. But if you won't, leave a dislike, and if you actually like the video, leave a like. And I know I'm acting pretty stupid. It's because I don't think anyone's gonna. There's probably, if this video, like, over time gets like a couple hundred views, maybe like 1,000, 2,000 views, there's probably like one or two, maybe like a handful of people who've made it this far. So if you're one of those guys, what's up? Are you part of the Higuruma fan club? Let me know in the comments, right? But yeah, with that, take care. Have a great day. Like, seriously, have a great one.